What's up, y'all? It's me, Majority. Or am I? Well, I'm always going to be Majority, but I'll also be Teddy. I'll also be whatever channel I decide to make, which is related to the topic today. Do I make a new channel? And I already have an answer. It's yes. But it comes with a couple caveats and some explanations. So what's going on? Why am I making a new channel? What does that mean for this channel? It means you need to subscribe because I ain't done posting on Majority. This is my expression channel. For those who don't know, an expression channel is a channel where you don't really care about the numbers, but you just get to express how you're feeling, what's going on, what your thoughts are. And I think it's vital to have that because the way that YouTube is working in the past at least 5 years or so is that it does not benefit an expression channel, it benefits a specific channel. So I had an experiment with this where I opened up Captain Keaton. I haven't really been transparent about that. I've been a little like, oh yeah, whoa, who's Captain Keaton? Well, that was my Zelda channel. I wore a mask. Honestly, I could go back to it at any time, and I saw relative success over there, but I also burnt out. I learned a lot of lessons from that, which I could divulge in this video or another video. But I think it's important to see the pendulum swing both ways, making free content, making targeted content, making free, making targeted. So that way you can kind of land in the middle and make the content you're content with, eh? And also not be burning out, because I really hit that spot. But the other issue is when you're on this side of the pendulum, you're just making whatever, whenever, and there's no guaranteed results. So, I mean, I look at my channel and I see a lot of great concepts and I see a lot of great videos, but it's just that none of them align under one specific moniker other than video games. And even then, that's debatable because my best performing video lately is my Korean drama discourse with my dad. It's been that way for years since we did that video. And I wonder about all the Korean drama fans that are on this channel. You know, it's like, who am I really, what am I doing for them? I don't know, but who knows? You know, I know people say, oh, I don't subscribe for the content. I subscribe for your personality. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I appreciate it. There's that swing though too. It's like personality, content. How do you meet in the middle? So I've thought about this. And, you know, I think it's very important to keep this channel because even with this kind of video, right, where I'm just sitting here talking in front of the camera, I did this all 2024. That's all I did was sit in front of the camera and just talk like topics that are relevant to me, how I'm feeling. I've even done some recently. And I like just that freedom of being able to do that whenever. And I think there is a space and a place for a more targeted content for me. So I'll go over some of those ideas. Because at the end of the day, too, like, do I want to express myself on YouTube? Yes. Is it important I do so in a systematic and regular manner? No. And then do I want to also build something on YouTube that could turn into something? Yes. Like, and do I also want to build something on YouTube that is beneficial to me? Also, yes. And a couple of these ideas will turn into that. I think you'll see. So the first idea I had is, you know, I am endlessly playing Pokemon throughout my whole life. I'm always playing Pokemon. I'm a bit of a Pokemaniac. You know, you see those avatars in the game sometimes where they're like the nerdy dude with the glasses and the long hair. Well, that's me. I could be the Pokemaniac, whatever that is, you know. And it would just be a Pokemon-centered channel. Poke-Center. Get it? Oh my gosh, I'm on fire today. You can see the sweat trickling down my forehead. It's hot and I'm wearing a hoodie, but my shirt under this is wrinkled. You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna take this off. Let me get comfy. Let me get cozy. It's not about optics. It's about content, which is also content. I did this last time too in the video. I took my freaking hoodie off. Whew. Okay, nice. And then the shades are coming back on. It's bright powder out here. Anyways. I love Pokemon. I know Pokemon so well. There's so much Pokemon that I could endlessly play it. I mean, I'm making these Battle Frontier videos, and I even have one I want to do now. So part of my idea is just open up a Poke-centered channel and just put any and all Pokemon content. I could even stream Pokemon games there. I could stream freaking Stadium, I could stream XD or Coliseum when I buy them. Terry, I see you. I could stream Battle Revolution. I gotta get that again. I could even stream Scarlet and Violet. I could stream a bunch of them on the Switch. I could stream Pokken, and so there's a lot of opportunity as far as Pokemon content goes. And I don't tire of it. Like I mean, sure, I go through phases of I'm playing Pokemon, I'm not playing Pokemon, but it's a content that like comes relatively effortlessly. Now I know not everyone here is subscribed for Pokemon. In fact, most of you aren't, but that's almost beneficial to you because then I get to just put all the Pokemon content there and just do whatever I want here. If I want to talk about Sonic here, I can talk about Sonic here. If I want to talk about F-Zero here, I can talk about F-Zero here. And the reason it like didn't work for Zelda is because I didn't feel an endless Zelda opportunity to just talk about Zelda, you know, throughout the lineage. And I felt very tied to like the going in order thing, and so Zelda just didn't really work for me as a single focus channel. But another opportunity for me besides the Pokemon Center channel would be a Nintendo 64 centered channel. Now, I've talked about this before. I said, oh, I'll call it Project 64. Well, Project 64 is taken, so I'd have to call it something else, like Majara 64 or something. I don't know. We could workshop that a bit, but I do think that, you know, I would not feel super tied down to just reviewing every N64 game. I could basically make any N64 content I want. I could make N64 beginners guides. I could post N64 reviews. I could post N64 live streams. I could post like challenge videos. I could post just vlogs on N64. I could post, you know, anything N64 related. And I think that works for me because it is my favorite console. I've mentioned it many times before. I could play that thing pretty endlessly, although I do think I'd switch up. But I don't think N64 strictly has to be the way. I just think it has to be majority N64 content. I think if I do an odd GameCube video or something, like, that's fine. Like, I don't think there's an issue with that. But as long as the theme of the channel is the N64, my favorite console. Would I take old videos from here and post them there? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought too deeply about it. It would be fun to just do it as a new project, though. One thing that definitely does not belong in this channel, but that I am very interested in, is language learning. So another channel idea for me has been my language learning journey. I recently got married in Italy, go me, and I picked up a lot of Italian while I was there. I studied it in high school, but I was able to apply it more here on this trip. And I just picked up words and phrases every day, and so it would be nice to just dedicate a space to practicing and using my language, because there's really nobody to, crazily enough, out here in New York, no matter where I go, nobody's speaking Italian. So I think it would be awesome to just, you know, use the virtual space to do that. And I think it applies to one of these things that a lot of people who go through their life and say, oh, I wish I built a skill set or something, or you should have done this sooner. Well, there you go, language learning. I mean, that's basically an endlessly useful tool. It doesn't have to be Italian strictly. It could also be Spanish. It could also be Japanese. It could also be Korean. It could also be Chinese. You know, and these are languages I have dabbled in on my own and tried to study, and to relative success. I picked up some words and phrases, some scripts, some kanji, some kana, some Hangul. So, you know, I mean, there's an opportunity there. And I thought I could also mesh my passions together of language and video games, and do like themed videos on like, oh, like Buongiorno Pikachu, like, you know, Come stai, Rhydon. You know, it would be funny to just merge the two in some way. I don't think a lot of people are doing that. You could also put in your favorite like video game OSTs and stuff, and it would just be a fun journey. If people who want to come along can, I don't really care if you subscribe or not, but it's doing something for me for that. So, and it is probably useful for people that want to pick up the language and hear phrases. Also, I think a lot of language learning videos are done in the style of repeat after me, buongiorno. You know, it's like, how many times, you know, can you really listen to the robotic video? I don't think it's as useful. So I think that the more discursive style, that's also another thing I would bring to that, would be pretty cool. And a last one is a bit of a pipe dream, or I don't know, it's something that I've thought of for a long time but wanted to do, which is F-Zero TV, which would be just like racer profiles and just races and kind of news about F-Zero or whatever. Not like anything's happening in the past 20 plus years, except for F-Zero GX getting brought to the Switch 2, and maybe the F-099, but not like, it's not like that kind of news. It would just be like, okay, in recent news, Jackman, like, Beastman, slays the Jack Cup or something. It could be cool. Like, I don't know. I have like this commentary kind of style, like thought process on it that could be fun. But I don't think that necessarily deserves its own channel. That may just benefit me here on Majority. It could be just a side project I work on, just for fun. So those are 4 ideas I have for new channels. I currently do a book talk channel. I'm actually about to do one. I was going to bring it outside, but my battery's low and the laundry's running, so I'm going to switch it after this video and talk about Do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. And what I think works about that channel is I never feel pressure to, read at an accelerated rate. I read 2 books this year, and it's October in a couple days. So I just post them when I want to post them, and it works for me. So, and then I think it works too, like, I had this audiobook thing going where I was recording audiobooks. It was really tiring, so I didn't pursue it, but I may finish the one I started. I'm like 60 pages left in Foundation in order to complete the audiobook, and people seem to view it. They seem to like it, so I think they're probably wanting more as far as at least finalizing that. And also, I like just talking about books, and reading is a healthy, productive exercise. So like that's a good way to invest my time with the video content. And then I've talked about it before, but one of my favorite things to do when I was on the Button Mappers was to do the book talks. I don't know if I've said that publicly, but that was a passion project that I really enjoyed. It was one of my picks for Teddy Month back in the day. I think it was like 2020 in August, and we did a discourse on video game books, and it was really cool. I really liked it, and yeah, something I could bring, continually going forward, just when I feel like it. And I think that's what the new channel can kind of be like. I don't feel like I have to be so strict to Monday uploads or something. Like, I think I could just upload when I want, as I want. Because that was another thing that burned me out in Captain Keaton, was like scheduling, man, and even the Button Mappers. Scheduling, man, it's just overwhelming. I think you keep the content consistent, you get it out when you can, and if you can build something, that's great, but what's the pressure? It's not a full-time job. Why treat it like one? Unless it becomes one, and that's different. That's a different story. And then I think there's a different conversation when you hit that point about how do I separate the work from the art. I think there's always going to be that balance, except for people who just post like one video every so often that's like kind of just a humorous whatever video. But I think those of us who really enjoy like video making and content creation, we get kind of lured into this pattern, and so that's a more common thing. And then what happens to a lot of people, and the reason I don't dissuade anybody who goes into like the I don't want this to feel like a job or whatever, or like I don't dissuade people who go like, I think there's a perception here, like on YouTube, of you make money equals bad, and I think that's a bit flawed. Because if that's the case, then you would get much less content from people, and a lot of people would just burn out. They would not get the satisfaction out of like the videos that they're posting because they're getting like 0 traction. I think that you can't ignore the numbers to some extent. You can disable like bars and stuff, but all the people who preach this stuff quit YouTube. They all do. So I mean, like, you can preach that all you want, but just don't expect anything from your favorite creators. So that's where my mind goes with that. I don't think it's a bad thing to pursue future in content and content creation. I do think a lot of people will see YouTube as like the only option or the most successful one. So as opposed to like a blog spot or a news press, and I feel like there probably is a way, but it just seems like the perception or the optics are that YouTube is the #1 way to go about it. And so I think that's confusing too for a lot of people. Some people's proclivities are probably better suited towards other platforms than YouTube, but whatever. But the community's on YouTube. It's not that our community is on YouTube, it's just that YouTube supports communal features. And so that's bizarre, and it's jarring, because you have people that don't necessarily like making content but try it, or like don't make content at all but are here, and then you have people that are making content but that are only making content and are not communicating at all. It's a gish gallop of things. It's a very interesting space and place, but there's nowhere I'd rather be than here. So hey, you'll see me here one way or another, whether it's Majority or some other passion project I'm doing. I'll keep you posted. When I make something new, I'll post it in the comments or something, or the description, but you'll also see a video about it or some community posts. So subscribe and welcome back. And if you're new here, yeah, nice to see you. Have a great day, everybody. Let me know what you think. Should I make a new channel? Should I not make a new channel? Obviously I should make a new channel, but which new channel are you most interested in? Which one would you be most likely to subscribe to? See you later. Bye.